Hey folks, welcome back to another HP Gaming, a GameLINK video. We have a Kickstarter Collector's Edition unboxing for you today. We are going to be throwing dice in all manner of fashions, fighting all manner of nasties, and traveling through five different incredible, crazy worlds as we take a look at Horrible Guild's Dungeon Fighter Collector's Edition. Hello again folks, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, and you should by now, my name is Matt, and as I said in the tease, today we are unboxing a collector's edition of Horrible Guild's Dungeon Fighter. Now this is a Kickstarter that has recently arrived. I am very excited to see what's going on in this box. It is a game that is designed for 1 to 6 adventurers as you travel the denizens through the areas that are located within this box. It is, if you are not familiar with Dungeon Fighter, it is a dice dexterity game where you are throwing dice at a target and trying to do all manner of damage to the nasties within. The Collector's Edition, however, instead of just being one game, is effectively 5 different scenarios, realms, I guess for lack of a better term, in one, all contained in this spectacularly awesome box. There is, well look, we won't go into details, we'll show you what's in the box anyway. First things first though, I'm going to take this plastic off. Now, I am not as familiar with a Dungeon Fighter as I would like to be. It's something I've always had a keen interest in, and when the Kickstarter came up on board, we went all in. And when I say all in, I mean all in. But I'll explain a little bit about what that means later on. So, without further ado, we're going to get this plastic off of here. It's such a big, heavy box. I love it. Okay, so you can see here, this is a collector's edition box. They were talking about having a magnetized lid for the box with all the components. I think they've tried to change their tune because instead of just having the 4 core boxes, you could get one bigger box. But in addition, they reproduced the original Dungeon Fighter and put it in this box as well. So when I said 5 games in one, I really meant it. Meant to play 1 to 6 players, about 45 minutes. And again, it's just, I don't know, a whole bit of chaos, a whole lot of fun. That's what we're all about. So we are gonna, oh my gosh, it's heavy. Plastic as always goes on the floor because we don't need any of that rubbish. I'm gonna flip this around here and chuck it on the overhead for you. There you go, check that out. Doesn't that look absolutely fantastic? So you can see here, Dungeon Fighter Collector's Edition. We've got someone tackling a dragon by the tail while a thief steals all sorts of goodness. The artwork is very kitsch, a little bit cartoony, comic booky, but I kind of dig that. It's pretty awesome. There's a lot to love about what's going on in this box here. All right, so I will say too, some of the Kickstarter backers on the Kickstarter page were saying that they had a few issues with boxes and things like that being damaged. We have a little tiny bit of a ding here in the box corner. That is marginal. I'm not too concerned about that because obviously, as long as the components inside are fine, I'm okay with that. People will say that will potentially damage your resale value when it takes to second place market. However, being that it's a complete collector's edition, I don't foresee this leaving my collection anytime soon. I was also told by my junior gamer and my junior gamer, Charlotte and Blair, that I needed to unbox this today because they want to play it tonight when they get home from school. So here we are. Let's take the lid off and let's see what's in the box. It is very snug, very tight, and I know there's going to be a whole plethora of stuff inside here as well. And then of course there's the extra peripherals, which I'll show you later. Oh my gosh, there is a lot going on here. Let me get some purchase on it. There we go, lifting the lid. Oh my goodness. I did not expect that. Let's pop that one just up there, and then I'm just going to, where are we? I'm just going to bring that curtain, because we're getting a bit of a glare on the camera. Just give me one moment. All right, hopefully that's a little bit better for you now. Okay, so I'm just going to move this box to the side. I usually have it on display, but because of the fact that I've had to move the camera, I just want to make sure there's not too much shadow here with all the bits and pieces. So there is a lot of stuff in this box. There is effectively 5 games in this one big box, and it's huge. So let's get into it. We've got some puzzle pieces here. Now, I'm not sure... I don't know where everything is because there's effectively so much going on in this box, but I think these can be used to, obviously they're puzzle pieces that you can put together to make up different mats and things as well. So who knows, we'll have to have a look and see what that is all about. As always, as we have been doing, we've been trying to get footage of everything set up on the table, so we'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to put that to the side here. We have a little bit of a board game arena situation, bit of advertisement for Horrible Guild and all the crazy stuff they do, which is awesome. We do love all the stuff that Horrible Guild does, and this is going to be no exception. We have a collector's edition handbook, manual / rulebook / everything else. Pretty straightforward, I'm guessing. We have a lot of stuff here. I do like the choose your dungeon. So you've got here, this is what's contained inside this box. 2nd edition core, Labyrinth of Sinister Storms, Chambers of Malevolent Magma, Castle of Frightening Frosts, Catacombs of Gloomy Ghosts, and you can mix and match, which is bloody fantastic. Dungeon Fighters, Choose Your Dungeon, etc. There is components galore, there is board modifiers, there is leader tokens and chess tiles, setup rules and instructions, how it all sort of works, different dice, and there are a lot of them. Hero sheet anatomy, hit and miss, what happens if how you win the game, how you lose the game. Obviously it's a cooperative game to some extent, but obviously if you win the game cooperatively, you can decide who is the ultimate dungeon fighter by collecting points along the way. Losing, winning, endgame scoring, appendix, impossible situations, and there will be a few of them. I just like the idea of being able to basically cause absolute hilarity, and the fact that it's a game that requires crazy dexterity throws means that Charlotte's going to love this, but also means Blair's going to be able to play this as well. There is also here an advertisement for One More Quest, which is the RPG version of Dungeon Fighter, and that is on its way out soon too. So look out for that one when it arrives, I should say. We will have a look. I'll pop this one to the side just so I can have a list of all the components so I know what is what, who is who in the zoo. All right. Let's dive in. Now, we've got some, what looks like to be punch-outs here, and I think there's going to be quite a few sheets of punch-outs. So we have a leader's treasure tile. Now, the punch-outs are this beautiful, thick card. And again, I don't know if you can see it on the overhead there, but you have this tile. Now, rather than just being black, it's like a rock and everything else as well, which is cool. You have a treasure tile, which is for the leader token. There is a first player leader marker. Looks like we've got some health tokens, ability tokens. This looks like it's some sort of monster tracker. Yeah, that's a monster life tracker. And then you've got all of these little tokens and chits and bits here as well. We've got some gemstone tokens and things here. And on the back, they've got different sides. So this is all white on one side. I do like the fact they've thought about both sides of the component trace, which is awesome. So I'm gonna put that one over here. We now have a little frog dude. We've got Thor's hammer there. We've got a pond. We've got a lightning storm, some goopy gelatinous cube isms, and a little arrow, which I'm assuming is pointing direction of who's doing damage. More tokens for days, and the reverse on there. So they're double-sided, which is kind of great. I'm digging that. Again, all the chipboard is awesome. We have more individual tokens. A big flamey thing here, which is, I think they're dice throwing templates, I guess, for when you're throwing dice and doing different things. And then you've got giant shields, you've got some explosion tokens as well. Again, double-sided. Tokens for days because there is token sets for 5 different games in the one box. These look like they're frozen templates for the frozen part of the board here. More tokens on there. A lot of empty space. They could have used something there to maybe produce some more, but that's okay. Not complaining. There's a lot going on. I'm assuming once all the punch outs is done, there'll be a lot more room in the box. Oh my goodness. I keep trying to not look ahead, but there is some awesome stuff under here. Okay. A giant dagger. This is for the frightful thing. A giant gemstone as well, which is cool. More tokens. Some sort of cauldron-y spin the bone sort of situation. Some webs, which look a bit nasty. And then obviously the double side reverse of those. They look fantastic. Knife templates and things as well. So I think you can throw a die, and where the die lands, you place the template, etc. There is a lot going on here, as you can see. And that's kind of cool. We've got some spacer, which is hollow and has nothing important. So we'll pop that to the side, keep that later, because we will probably need the spacer to repackage everything. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to put the chipboard over here. Now, you get extra bits and pieces with this one that you're able to then use to mess with your die rolls, etc. So I don't know what everything is meant to do. I know they're color coded. So blue is for ice, red is for magma, green is for forest, purple is for the spooktacular stuff. That's fantastic. But we've got extra gadgets to assist you in throwing your dice as well. So we've got here some special dice. This is a D2. Which is literally a coin, but it's a D2 in the purpose of the game. So you've got heads or an eye and then nothing on there, and it's a nice plastic molded thing, and you will literally cast that as a coin or roll it as you would. So if you roll it to flip it, and you get a heads up, which is great. I don't even know where to start. There's so much going on here. We've got another gadget, which is a magnifying glass. So you might have to look through the magnifying glass before you roll, and that's there. Again, if I'm not doing justice on the overhead, these little plastic gadgets components are awesome. I'm digging it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then we have, let's have a look. We've got some gates. Now the gate will stand on the table, and you will have to roll through the gate effectively. So it's plastic molded. They're a little bit gelatinous as well, which is kind of cool. I'm digging that. We've got ramps for days, plastic ramps. The components are awesome. And they had to tweak them a little bit as well. So you'll actually place the die and roll it down the ramp onto the target. Yeah, they spent a lot of time developing the plastic components, and I think it's paid off. They look brilliant. You've got a little dice cup, a grail of sorts, which you'll use to roll some dice as well. And then we've got some, looks like hedge obstacles here. And I think there's 4 of these. Oh my God, these are awesome. I'm going to use these in D&D campaigns. This is fantastic. So again, I don't know if the overhead is going to do this justice, but I will show you all the different components. I think what's going to happen is I will do setups for each different board with all the peripherals. So at least then you'll get a chance to see it all mixed together rather than just laying everything out, which could take some time. So bear with me. We have these plastic molded thingies that they are brilliant. I really dig those, the hedges. And again, really nice material. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use those in D&D campaigns as well. We have a wall of ice that you'll have to throw around, which obviously will stand up on attention and cause a bit of trouble. There's a little gap there for some other components, maybe some dice, we'll have to see. I love that the tray is sculpted for everything as well, which is brilliant. We have some ice components, effectively a slab that you place on the board, which will affect your die rolls because it's textured, which is brilliant. We have more ice sculpts here, 4 of these different objectives that can go in on the map, obstacles I should say, and they are nice thick plastic. They're hollow as well, which means I think in some of the boards there's holes so you can actually fill up those spots on the board just to cause trouble. My gosh, there is so much, and we've only literally just got into the second layer. We have a ramp here, or a river, an ice flow for lack of a better term. We have an ice ring, which is obviously to potentially cause trouble. Plastic gadgets, you've got to land it into the ring to do some damage or cast some spells. Then we have throwing gadgets. We have bony chopsticks. Now you have to actually use these as you would chopsticks. Watch me struggle to do this now. And you actually have to pick up the dice and throw the dice with the chopsticks. How ridiculous is that? So I'm going to put these back in here. Hopefully they will sit. I've got them the wrong way. But yes, throwing those with chopsticks is just absolutely bonkers crazy. I love it. We've got a firewall, which is a nice plastic red molded flame, and you'll have to obviously bounce dice over that. Then we have some liquid volcano magma action, which we assume obviously is for the magma level. We have a lava flow. Now this is actually a bit of neoprene, which will effectively cause the dice to bounce, which is potentially hazardous. And then we have a ring of fire. Now the ring of fire, that's actually very cool. I dig that. I like that. So I think, I know it's for Dungeon Fighter, but if I'm playing One More Quest or D&D or whatever role-playing game and someone casts like a fireball and there's splash damage, boom, we're just bumping that on the table. I dig it. I love it. Brilliant. Bring it on. And this is literally the first tray in. There is so much stuff going on here. I'm just trying to remember where everything goes. Fit in there, please. As best we can. There we go. Okay, and then we've got that one there. Now, let's see if I can put this coin back here. So we've only actually looked at one of the dice that are in the box. Okay, let's see how we go here. Oh my goodness. All right, let's pop that out of the way. Card trays, cards for days, all that sort of stuff. Monsters galore, fighters. I think I'm pretty sure there's more under this one as well. So maybe we should go deeper, then come back to the cards. I don't know. Let's have a look at the baggies here. We have heart tokens and trackers for days. One of these is a darker one, which I believe is for the monstrosities. Yes. There's 2 for monsters and 1 for each of the other players. Now, these are cool little sculpted heart trackers. So rather than just being chipboard tokens, they're actually proper molded hearts on stands, and the monster ones have a little nasty little spiky bit on them. I don't know if you can see the difference there. That's fantastic. I dig that. That is so good. I love that. So that's going to sit in those boards that we saw before for the monsters, which is nice. And then we have what looks like some gold. Now, I don't mind this. This is they're plastic and they make a good noise. We went all in, as I said, so I'll show you something else a bit later on, which I'm just excited as hell about because I love those things. But because they're not chipboard and because they're plastic, I mean, there's so much plastic in this game, it's ridiculous. But I don't mind these. I don't mind the plastic. They've got a 1 on one side and, just the emblem of the Dungeon Fighter sigil on the other side. I don't mind the plastic. It's a good feel. They're very lightweight, which is nice. And they make a good sound as I try and fit them all in the bag without spilling everything everywhere. Good luck. So I don't mind those. Chipboard is okay for coins if you like that sort of thing. I usually prefer something a bit more tactile, and that is not a bad option. I kind of dig that. I don't know if that was just the collector's edition or whether that was produced for every version of this they made. I'm not sure. Let's have a look and see. Should we go deeper? Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper and then we'll come back out. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we'll come back to the cards in a moment. Wow. All right, so we have a massive amount of boards and a huge ton of dice in all shapes and forms. So we have, I think this is a standard Dungeon Fighter target. Now, I won't be able to show you this until later on, but they connect like a jigsaw puzzle. They've got the holes, and depending on where you land, depends on how much damage you do, etc. So you can do 6, 3, whatever the case may be. That is the standard board for the original Dungeon Fighter. Then we have the Forest board, I believe, which has got the green on it. And I'll show you what they look like as well. Again, 0.7 damage, etc. if you land on a small area. That's kind of cool. Then we have the Spirit board for the ghouls and the ghosty ones with all the purple and everything else as well, which is that's pretty stock standard for a ghost board. The boards are huge. The targets are massive. I like that. Now the Icy Frosty one, that's kind of cool. Get it? Kind of cool because it's frosty. So you can see here there's all sorts of shaved areas. It looks like it's tactile and raised even though it's flat. And then we have, oh no, this is the board. So what was the other one then? It must have been the lava board. This is the Spirit board. The other one was for lava. Magma world. I do like the cobwebs and stuff on there. That's kind of cool. The chains and things as well. Very foreboding, but also very cool. Artwork is simple, but I dig it. Let's pop these ones back in here because ultimately this is a dice game. So wish me luck because I suck at dice games. But I do like, I don't know, there's the options and the replayability here is just fantastic. The only trick I'm going to have to discover is which dice are for which game, if that makes sense. Let's pop that in there. I'm moving the box everywhere as well. Sorry about that. For those of you watching on the overhead, we'll pop that in there, making sure I've got it all in here correctly so it all sits nicely. And then our last couple of boards will sit in there nicely. And I do love the fact that they've packed it in so very tightly and neatly and everything else. It's fantastic. All right, dice. We have a 6-sided foam dice of crazy with some epic symbols on it. I'm assuming some of these are criticals, etc. It does the job. It is incredibly light and bouncy as all get out. That's kind of cool. We have, oh my gosh, there's dice everywhere. It's insane. But I guess that's the nature of the game. Okay, we've got here dice, metallic dice, normal dice. Okay, so these are normal dice fighter dice, I guess, or dungeon fighter dice. So that's a wooden, that's plastic. I don't even know where to begin. All right, so let's take a look at the wooden dice. There are just so many. There's 10 special dice, 5 customized dice sets. We've got, okay, so each dice set is a different set of dice. That's D6. Plastic D6 dice, wooden D6 dice, D4, D8, D12. Okay, and there's 12 of each, which means 2 per player. I'm gonna have to move the box to make sure these work. I don't know why there's so many dice here, but I guess it's a dice fighting game. That makes sense to me. Let's put that to the side for just 1 second. All right, so dice, we've got, they work. I'm assuming these are extra damage or hits or whatever the case may be. That is the wooden components, and they have a nice wooden feel. They are screen printed, which is whatever. It is what it is, but there's a ton of dice here, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Then we have our D6 plastic. So I wonder if that's maybe a personal preference. I have to read the rule book and decide whether that's just meant to be. Different dice for green, blue and red. Dice for days. The plastic ones are etched, which I love. So maybe that's a personal preference. I do like as well that these dice will potentially be able to be used in the RPG, which will stop us from having to get, extra dice packs and things as well, even though we did. We've got here some D8s. Now these are all plastic as well. And they just look the business. Again, they work. I have rolled absolutely terribly. I've rolled 2 symbols on those 12 dice. 2 out of 12. That is shocking. But that's okay, because sometimes the dice throw is not what it's all about. And that's why I like dexterity dice games, because even if my dice rolling is crap, which it usually is, I can still make up the difference. Look at dice thrown. All right, so there we go. We have the D12s. Again, that's a bit of a better roll. I've got some more symbols there. 1 more. 3 out of 12. My gosh. The dice feel quite tactile. The plastic ones I do prefer. I mean, the wood is nice, but the plastic ones with the etched faces just looks a bit more polished as well, which is fantastic. We've got the D4s here, which are plastic D4s. Now we have different dice for different things. I wonder if depending on the board you're playing on will affect the dice. I've got what, one, that was better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. That was a better roll with the D4, go figure. I do find that when I roll D4s, I get higher scores. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the result is going to be less overall. Go figure. Ah, there we go. It was going to happen eventually, wasn't it? Give me 1 sec. All right, so that's in there now. We have some translucent blue mini D6s. Now these are very tiny dice, and they've all got, I think, one symbol on them, which I didn't roll. No, again, I suck at dice rolling. What can I say? They've got a little a success symbol on one side, so that's going to be a hard one to roll. 1 in 6 chance is not always great odds. We have a, what is that? We have a crazy die, which is a pendulum die. So it's on a string. Check this thing out. So it spins, it's got a base, it's on a pendulum. So I guess you would have to effectively, and I have to read the rules, is swing the thing and then roll it and see what you get. I just love that there is so many different ways they've thought about to actually roll and chuck dice. I think this is a game you'll play standing up in some respects, for the most part. I also know that if I let Blair play this, I'll need to cover all the vents for the heating and everything else as well, ducted heating, because dice are going to go absolutely everywhere. Charlotte too, for that matter. In fact, anyone who plays this game, because that's the way it's designed. We have a big, chunky wooden die which has a health symbol, successes, healing. Oh, nice. I get some health back. That's always nice. It's nice and heavy and chunky. And then I think that's nearly everything for the dice, except we have this metal cube die, this bronze cube die. It has a target symbol on it as well. That is heavy. That is a heavy, heavy metal die. We have a rubber, green, glow-in-the-dark sort of looking die, which has a reroll symbol on it, I'm guessing. And the success, that bounces quite a bit. And then we have another D12, which looks like it has successes and +8s on the dice. +8 symbols there, and it has a 5 damage. And that is just a straight D12, but that's very, very light for a D12. And again, I rolled nothing. There you go. Suck at dice games. What can I say? Wow. Lots of dice, lots of different rules I have to check over, but that's pretty fantastic. All right, we'll bring this one back in and we'll put all of our dice back in the box as best we can. Whoops, chucking stuff everywhere. Sorry for the noise, my friends, my folks. That is not my intention at all to make so much noise, but here we are. So we got D4s going in there. Special dice I'll pop in here, and then we'll get our other D there, pendulum die can go in there. All right, and then we'll bring in that other vac tray, and that'll be all the cards for all the different dungeons, and we can clean up as we go, which is awesome. All right, so hero cards. There are 5 packs of hero cards, because there's 5 games. So let's have a look and see who we've got. We have different heroes that you can play as. I'm just going to rip this off because it's going to annoy me. I'll just take them out that way. That's fine. That can go on the floor. We have a Merca Mist Cleaver. Punches are usually delivered in 2 to 3 working days. Well, that's nice. And they have this nice emblem on the back, so it's not just one-sided. Grace Clean Cut. You have Wilrond. And then you have Edith Grognard. Goldfinger. Nice. I love the flavor text on there as well. I'm not drunk, my axe is. Margarhilda. That's a bloody axe. You got Marvin, who looks like he's trying to be a Harry Potter knockoff. Brad Breakfast. And then we've got Mist Cleaver again, so we'll pop her back in there, or them back in there. Then we have wizards and other folk. So let's see if I can just rip these off. That's what my knife is for. So we will just go shing. Get rid of that. We've got Randolph, who has a sworn enemy to magic. Prince Todd, the Toad. Lanky Lowshot, who looks very tall and angular. Tina Thunder, as opposed to Tina Turner. I like that. And then Randolph is back in the picture. We have... So that core set, the largest set, because these ones are all a bit smaller, must be for the main base pack, and these are all expansion characters. Brokenstock, Melissa Firedaughter, you have Torm, you have Leah Demon's Bane, and then you have Brokenstock again. So there's plenty of heroes to choose from, and each of them have special abilities, as you can see. As you know, folks, if you've watched the channel before, you can always pause the video to get a closer look at some of these guys because we are shooting in high def. Artistide, Jack Boatless, that's no good. Marla Morningstar, LeBron Bearskin, who has a bit of self-healing ability. That's kind of cool. It heals 3 extra hit points every now and again. Sworn enemy is animal, so any animal creatures he'll potentially be able to do more damage to, and that's the same thing when we saw with Randolph with his enemy, magical enemies, he can do more damage to. You've got Lady Mary, who is here. Then you have Sir Moo. Interpret that any way you like. He can heal the party. He's kind of important. Liana Lightbringer, and then you've got Soul Racer. Soul Racer, I see much more dead people. The flavor text is fantastic. I love it. It's brilliant. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. We have different decks of cards. I'm assuming they are all for different things. I'll try and remember where everything goes. Now these look like they are set into different decks for the different boards. And they're different monster levels as well by the look of it. So we'll try to put these all together back where they belong. We'll see where we go. All right, let's have a look at the shop items first. And some of them are not just shop items. There's monsters in this deck too. More plastic for the floor. All right. If you out there, folks, if you folks out there, all of our lovely Gamer Army members, if you have a copy of Dungeon Fighter or one of the other boxes or the collector's edition, if you are crazy like the rest of us, let us know which one is your favorite. Do you have a favorite box? Do you have a favorite board to play on? Or do you just mix and match and just see where the flights of fancy take you? Let us know in the comments below. We have here, let's separate this out first. Level 1 monsters, level 2 monsters, then we have shops for days, items galore, mirror armor, dragon's breath, sacred grenade, euphoria blade, glass crasher, a scoped crossbow, that's kind of cool, shoot at range. I love the little symbols that show you how you do it. Graceful axe, you have to do a dance before you throw. A hellbow, so you have to actually throw it from your elbow onto the table. Ninja stuff. A horned helm, so you've got to do it from your head. Ramboril, sneeze machine, so you got to throw it from your nose. Maybe not do that in COVID times. A boomerang has to hit another object. A helmet T800. Normal sword +2, so normal roll. Hermes Air Max. Javelin, sword of friendship. Sword of friendship, so you've got to get a friend to actually throw it for you. Shield of faith, throwing knives, galloping staff, an exterminator, nunchaku, a spluttering stick, so you got to spit the dice. That's kind of gross. Helm of bravery, parabolic bow, second-hand shield. There you go, and these are all duplicates. Decent shield, a fancy shield, mana number 3. Foul-smelling potions. What is it? Capacitor flux potion. Odor napalm, very handy. Always take one of those. A voodoo doll. Explosive potion. Bullrog energy, as opposed to Red Bull energy. I like that. That's fantastic. We're going to put those back up the top here. Then we've got some monster cards. So these are level 1 monsters, and there's some level 2 monsters in here as well. A shady guy. Yeah, he looks kind of shady. Annoying drunkard. Bomber demon. A zombie monkey. Right, fair enough. A cute bear. Oh. Stinky boar. A goblin. A goblin in disguise. A zombie goblin. Shroom hoo-ha-ha-ha. A shroomhauer. Like that mandrake. And a catbarus. A cheeky catbarus monster. And then we have the Dark Swan Goblin, as opposed to a Black Swan Goblin, and the Monkey King, who's baring his butt to everybody because he's a rude man. All right, let's have a look at some more monster cards. I'll have a look at this deck here first. My goodness, there's a lot going on here, and we've only just scratched the surface. So let's see what we've got. Throw that on the floor. We've got more cards here, which could be boss cards there. We have map cards here, telling us to take a turn to the left or to the right, who knows. More monster cards as well. And these are level 4 monsters. My gosh. Level 3 monsters. There is so much going on. And more level 2 monsters, which I think are from the base game. So the zombie here is a normal zombie that time. A headless knight. Giant cooking mama. Ancient gargoyle. The puns and play on pop culture is fantastic. A baby dragon. A retired veteran. A werewolf. A puss in sneakers, not in boots, in sneakers. Charming goblin. And a half dragon. Wow. Okay, so let's put those all there. Those are all level 2 and 1 monsters. We're going to go through level 3 monsters for this pack now. A gourmand demon. An ocular fiend. That was one of the ones we had to vote on in the Kickstarter campaigns. The undead Batrician. Batrician renegade. A crazy cat lady. An uncanny horror. A hydra. Heroic goblin. And a famous vampire. Oh, that guy looks familiar. Ancient wise owl. An owl bear. And a shady duke. They're level 3 monsters. And then we get the level 4 monsters. This is going to be some crazy stuff right here. Monster Tamer, a Black Duke, an Undead Giant, a Succubus, a Mama Dragon, a Gorgon, a Homeless Troll, an Educated Orc, a Nightmare, that's a horse, a Mosquithra. Oh my gosh, some of these are hard to pronounce. Carmanilla, and a Disgraced Gnome. He's one of the hardest people to defeat, a Disgraced Gnome. I kind of dig that, that's funny. So we've got these map cards here, which have this map back on them, guide you through the dungeon. And you've got here these must be different rooms. There's a Magic Mirror, a Danger Zone, an Abandoned Theatre, Sacred Temple, Hall of the Giants, Lost in the Maze, a Cursed Trampoline of Doom, a Slimy Room, an Imperfect Pitch Black Room, Misengineered Bridge, an Empty Cell, another empty cell, another empty cell, a pantry, that could be nice, lots of food, a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, an equipment room, more equipment to buy, a stream of restoration, that sounds good too, pot of gold again, magic mirror, and I think we're back at the start. So there are different room cards that you can travel through or traverse as you make your way through the different realms of the dungeon. And then we have here what look like crazy boss monsters at the end. So we have here a Kitten Tamer, who is rabid. That makes sense. And then we have 8 goblins and 1 sword. Gang, all target sections count as 1. Dungeon the Dragon, as opposed to Dungeons the Dragons, 40 hit points. Final Destination, that looks a bit nasty. Dark Prince of Darkness, who is super tricky. And then we have Shroomzilla. Some of those are quite nasty. One of them in particular is very nasty. All right, we have another deck of cards here. Now, again, I'm assuming these are all related specifically to the different boards. So for the different games. So you can pick and choose which ones you want to play with. You can shuffle them all in together and just draw them at random. Whatever works for you. I'm not the boss. Plastic goes on the floor. So let's go through from room cards. We've got some equipment cards. And then we've got the boss monsters as well. So we'll start with the boss monsters. Why not? We have Aeolos, who is a flying dude. Skeletal Dragon. Oh my gosh. Skeletor. I forgot he was in there. That's fantastic. Then we have the Cave of Wonders. We have the Hall of Mirrors. The Haunted Cellar. Stream of Resurrection. Forgotten Treasure. Rotten Food. No, thank you. Cursed Casino. Gates of the Afterlife. This must be the spook fright one. Gates of the Afterlife. Grave Robbing. Forgotten Treasure. Bog of Eternal Stench. Yes, please. I've heard of that one before. Giant Dandelions. An Arachnid Nest. That looks a bit nasty. Foggy Cemetery. Haunted Cellar. Hall of Paradoxes. A big pile of bones. Gates of the Afterlife. And then we have some equipment. The Destiny Coin. Again, the Destiny Coin, which I'm assuming is that one we saw at the beginning. Bolas. Bone Arrows. Glass Shield. Spider Pheromones. Could prove useful. Enriching Tonic, Golden Compass, Ninja Suit, nice, Magic Femur Flute, Shield of Bony Death, a Sacred Grenade, a Sneeze Machine, Galloping Staff, Spluttering Stick, Secondhand Shield, Decent Shield, Tome of Knowledge, that's new, Vampiric Potion, Zoom Goggles, Knife of Infinite Uses, that's handy, 1,000 Mile Sandals. And then you get the monsters, so they have different back on the front, or different frames, just to let you know which one they're a part of, which map they're a part of. Skeleton Goblin, Living Cobwebs, a Mutant Cultist, Novice Cultist, Lizard Folk, Ferryman of Souls, Classy Orc, we're into the level 2 monsters, Flatulent Ghost. Right. A Ratoid, Disembodied Shadow, the Lizard King, Mr. Hypnosis, we're now in level 3. Indiana Bones. Imperceptible Woman, because she's a healthy dragon. A sleeping dragon. A cultist wizard. A harpy. A cultist leader. The Troll King. And the Mummy King. So there is a lot going on here before you get to the crazy monster. So more rooms. More of everything basically before you can even travel. So it's interesting to see how you can mix and match when you set up the game. I have to read the rules and decipher how that sort of works, but I don't know whether it means you just pick X number of cards from any set and just throw them all together. Who knows? I think it would mean, though, if you do decide to, plastic on the floor, if you do decide to mix everything together, you'd have to have all the different tools and tricks from all the boxes, all the different campaigns, I guess, ready to go, on the chance that you pull one of those random cards that's from a different box. So you've got the different tools you can use to roll against the monster. All right, we have, I'm assuming this is Magma, the Bullrog, which is a 40-point monster, Sandworm, the Fabulous Orc Crusher, and then we have here the Metal Goblin Concert. We have the Firewall Chamber, Classic Boulder Trap, Indiana Bones might come in handy, Volcanorium, Magic Fountain, Lost Treasure, Canteen, very helpful. The floor is lava, spiked ceiling, dungeon cells, storage room, lost treasure, rec room, firewall chamber, a forge, could be handy, a candle room, spikes on the floor this time as opposed to spikes ceiling, corridor, which is just straightforward, a dungeon cell, and then we get into our crazy items once more. We have a recycled shield, again the iron die, that's that metal die we saw before, Morningstar, volcano armor, fire ring, lava soaker, dragon blood, rock solid shield, barbecue armor, use the fireball template, that's kind of cool, explosive armor, dynamite, a bear trap, which is an apple over a spiked bear trap, a hellbow, Hermes DMX, Sword of Friendship, Revenge Potion, that could be handy, Earthquake Scroll, Cardboard Shield, Mana number 3, Mana number 5, there you go, Ring of the Lords, when any hero performs an epic shot, every hero heals 2 life points, that could be handy, Sailor Spinach, Dungeon Manhole, Fireball Monsters, place the volcano before combat, a Calcifia, Fire Tribe Goblin, Gorilla Queen, Old Bones, Smoked Zombie, Firewall, Hugh Man-Torch, yep, a Beetle Army, Penguimon, Phoenix, a Zombie Goblin King, the Something, Fake Goblin King, the Rhythm Demon, Malicious Barbarian, Armored Goblin, Red Dragon, Lava Monster, Beetlezilla, and the Mummy. And we had a look at the other monsters earlier, the boss monsters for that pack. I don't even know where to start. Maybe I should start with the base game and then change from there. We'll see how we go. I will let you know how I fare from our first battle. I know the kids are going to get home, but did you open it? What are we going to do? They are very excited. They saw the box, the size of the box, and all the peripherals, and they're very excited to see what is in store. All right, I'm going to rip this one open, get some plastic on the floor. We are getting there, folks. Thank you for sticking with me for this far. Plastic on the floor. We have got the Slumbering Horror, which basically looks like Cthulhu. The Penguin, Shopkeeper's Ghost, and then we have an Engine Room, which is, I think this is the ice version, maybe? I don't know. Life Fountain, Hall of Winter Solstice, it's the ice one. Frozen Pantry, Dangerous Ceiling, Frozen Cave. We have Ice Cream Kiosk, Cold and Void again, Icy Warehouse, Hall of Winter Solstice again and again, Hall of the Ancient Heroes, Room of Possibilities, a Frosty Hall, a Cool Slide, that is a cool slide, the Frozen Cave again, Cracked Pathways, Chilling Gale or Jail, Cold and Void again, as we said before. So the room cards can cause a bit of trouble as you go through the dungeon. We have Hydro Soaker, again the water die, a Winter Cannon, Wand of Fish Catching, sure, Hammer of the Giants, yes please, Freezing Wand, Hydrodynamics Volume 2, Cloak of Endless Winter, Blade Boots, Mostronomicon, a Catapult, whee, I love that, Blacksmith Tools, Horned Helm, Ramboril, Parabolic Bow, which we saw before, Enlarging Lotion, Enlarging Lotion again. Invoicing Scroll. Spend up to 5 coins to deal 1 damage per coin. Discard after use. Invoicing Scroll. A Tome of Knowledge we saw before. Mana number 3. Mana number 5. Lucky Locket. Activate the insta-kill power on the center of the target even if you did not roll an icon. A discard after use. A Bucket of Transformation. Heart of the Phoenix. And then we get the monsters. The Waterlogged Zombie. Mr. Elastic. Shady Aliens. The Iceberg, that's the guys from Men in Black. The Iceberg Mob, Penguin Paratroopers, Water Tribe Goblin, Snowman, a Frozen Corpse, Bloodthirsty Penguin, ouch, Maleficent Mage, a Killer Whale, Ice Mage, we've got an Ice Demon, he looks pretty nasty, the Fake Orc King, Visitor from the Sky, a White Bear, Ice Golem, Blue Dragon, Doubtful King, Fake Orc Queen, and the Undead Black Knight. There's a lot of fake kings and queens for orcs and goblins in this one. It's like, do you find the real king or the real queen? Are they really going to cause trouble, or are they just all pretend? Who knows? All right, one final pack of cards, and then we've got some extra bits and pieces to show you, which I think may or may not come in handy, and I'll explain how that works in a moment. First things first though, one final box of pack, I should say, of cards. Plastic, of course, again on the floor. There is a pile of plastic down here. It's just getting way out of hand. All right, we have Gaia, 44 hit points. That's nasty. Evil Queen, there we go. The Goblin King, that's what we were talking about before, the Goblin King. Then we have some Enchanted Forests. We have the Enchanted Forest once again. Random Gnome Lab, not just any Gnome Lab, but a random Gnome Lab. A Healing Font. Treasure Chest. A Picnic Area, nice. Lime Slime Nest, ugh, yuck. A Damp Ford. So Many Trees. And then we have more So Many Trees. Room of Heroic Wisdom. Another treasure chest. We have Hungry Mist. Ooh. The Frognado, not a Sharknado, but a Frognado. That could be nasty. The Fountain of Wine. Yes, please get me in there. I love it. Gloomy Forest. Needlewoods. We have Frogtopia. Dungeon Tavern. Yes, please. I have another tavern. So Many Trees again. Lots of trees in this one. Lots of trees. Trees for days. All right, we've got all the cards getting stacked up here. Now we have an Explosive Gummy. Gain the rubber die. Discard after use. A Wooden Sword, which is very much a Minecraft sword. I like that. Fake Holy Grail. A Fan Cannon. Ouch. A Pin Crusher. Siren's Armor. Nurse Armor. Static Shield. Branch Armor. A Bladed Hula Hoop. That's nasty. Glam Knee Pads. A Dragon's Breath. Glass Crasher. Graceful Axe. Healing Ring. Another Healing Ring. Tempest Potion. We have Cardboard Shield, mana number 5, Explosive Potions, a Baseball Bat, a Throne of Weapons, Piggy Bank, and then we get into some monsters. So we've got the Lime Slime, the Earth Tribe Goblin, the Toilet Thing, nasty, Ravenous Wolf, Evil Imp, Air Tribe Goblin, Obnoxious Monkey, he's flashing his butt, Black Lagoon Creature, Undead Gardener. I would have thought the Black Lagoon creature would be a higher up monster. There you go. Undead Gardener, Sirens, Tree Folk, Crazy Fairy, the Wolf King, Patrician Sleazebag, a Satyr. Interesting. Carnivorose. That's cool. That's going to give kids nightmares. A Forest Giant, a Voodoo Witch, Patrician Lord, the Siren King, and then the Manator. Nasty business indeed. And that, my friends, that is the contents of the collector's edition of Dungeon Fighter, along with all the maps, peripherals, boards, all of the other crazy. But we are not done yet, because true to form, we like to go all in. We like to have all the things, and because of our supporters and because of the store and everything else, we're able to bring you some crazy stuff. So let me just get some gear out of the way here. I'm going to bring out this tray of epic crazy of all these things. Oh my gosh, it's just ridiculous. Let's put this chipboard and stuff away. I have no idea what this is for. I think it's a board modifier for a map. You can cover it up. Who knows? let's try to fit all this back in the box somehow. I don't know how successful I'm going to be. I will need to punch out everything and make sure I can find a home for it. Now, let's put this to one side. There we go. We have a few extras for you. So we have some special loot bags. Now these are, I believe, silicone holders, dice trays, whatever. You've got to throw them at the target. So these could be holders that hold all your bits and pieces. Now they will, they've got a little symbol there of our friends. So whether that's containers for your coins and other bits and pieces. So effectively they literally just slip over the top here, all silicone, all nice and easy. And they just, I like the rubber as opposed to neoprene, which is kind of cool, or silicone I should say. And they just literally slip together. So you can divide up all your chits, bits, etc. Without having to effectively, and I think everything should fit in the one box as well, which is quite cool. So you put coins in there and you're ready to go to storage solution to stop all the bits and the chaos, particularly when dice are being thrown absolutely everywhere, left, right, and center. And there is a gray version of same. We'll just undo that one. Nice and easy to snap. I do like that. No push studs. That's kind of cool. So then we have to store all the individual components for each individual game. Not so much the cards, but everything else, tokens, whatever else that is specific for each individual box. We have some special embroidered cloth bags as a storage solution. So if you look here, you can see this is for our magma components, which is a nice embroidered bag with a drawstring. You have the ice cavern one, you have the frights and the forest. There's not one for the base game, which is a bit, I would have thought that would have been nice to have them all together, have a nice set of 5 bags, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. We also have another hero that you can use. Now, this one here is going to go straight into the container. This is Betty Loud Scream, who has got some vampiric fangs, pickpocket abilities, ability to rethrow dice, and she's holding a massive, massive axe. Not just an axe, but some sort of musical instrument of epic proportions as well, which I dig. We also have, my friends, a leader token, which is not just a leader token, but it is a gilded golden leader token of epic proportions. It is heavy, it is weighty, it's going to look fantastic on the table. So I'm going to put that right there, pride of place. We also have sleeves. Sleeving games is kind of important. I should do it more often. Makes the longevity of the game, of the cards and everything else as well. The good thing about these sleeves, folks, is that they have this wonderful little transparency on them. So you've got a single side with that allows you to see the back of the card, so you can separate the decks out. But on the front, it's also clear, so you can see what actually is on the card. I do like the fact they're transparent. Very reminiscent of the sleeves we got for Fireball Island, which have the dual backs on them as well. Very, very cool. I dig those. But most importantly, because we love you and because it's lots of fun, we have a bag of gold. So these are metal tokens that replace the plastic tokens you saw in game and the chipboard tokens for your ability trackers and so on. So these are, oh my God, they're heavy. So you've got these wonderful little ability markers. So on one side, you've got that gilded symbol we saw on the white, and then of course these ones here, which are stitched. Very, very, very weighty. And then of course, gold for days. Now these metal coins just look at the business, look fantastic. They do sound better than the plastic coins, I think you'll have to agree. But look at how much, look at this. And if you're fighting through a dungeon finding loot, you want it to be looty, for lack of a better term. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's fantastic. It's brilliant. No idea where I'm going to store it, but that's okay. We'll figure that out. And there it is. That is the components in full, along with all the extra peripheries for the entire all-in Kickstarter collection of Dungeon Fighter by Horrible Guild. One question remains. What the hell does it look like when it's set up? We're going to show you now. Roll that footage. my goodness, it's so exciting. There is so much to take in here. There are so many different boards and chaos and everything else for this game. I do not know where to begin. Honestly, I think you got to start somewhere. You got to start at the beginning. So start at the base game and work your way forward. But from the base game, which of the 4 boxes do you go through? The lava monsters? Do you go through the forest? Do you go through the frights and the ghouls and goblins? Do you go through the ice palace and the ice kingdom? When we were discussing this earlier today, Blair is pretty much chomping at the bit to get into the lava, the volcanoes, the magma, all that sort of stuff. So maybe we'll go there. We'll see how we go. I will let you know, if I haven't already, on the screen beneath me here, how we fared in our first game. If you would like to see us do a playthrough of one of the particular boxes, please let us know in the comments below your thoughts. As always, folks, a massive mad props and shout out to our Patreon supporters who allow us to continue to do all the fun stuff we get to do here on the channel. And also supporters of the store as well. Thank you very much for allowing HP Gaming to flourish as well. We have some exclusives coming for you as well in the not too distant future. We have some unboxings and reviews of some early Kickstarter prototypes, which are coming soon to Kickstarter in August, which is exciting. We also have some more D&D content. There are talks in the ether about another D&D campaign with some adults launching into the stratosphere, and I will talk to you more about that in due course. We also have some DM live chats with all the local DMs and also international DMs that I've gotten to know, so we'll talk turkey about Dungeons & Dragons. Until then, folks, by all means, keep checking back on the channel. Have a look around now. If there's something else you might want to watch, you will be able to check out. There's plenty of content for you now on the channel. Stay in touch via Instagram, Facebook, and of course YouTube as well. Check us out on Twitch too. I will see you back here for more epic board game content in the not too distant future. Until then, stay safe, play more games, look after each other, get out there and have a kick-ass time. And we'll see you back here very soon. Until then, though, it is bye for now.